Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Court is now in session.
Okay. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Maxwell Austin.
Okay, Mr. Austin, you were arrested and charged with robbery, false imprisonment, tampering with a witness, and battery. Robbery is a second-degree felony. False imprisonment is a third-degree felony. Tampering with a witness. I think it's a third-degree felony, and battery is a first-degree misdemeanor. I have reviewed this. I do find that there is probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Okay, and is there anybody here?
No, Your Honor.
No, okay. And I'm setting a bond of $15,000 on count one, the robbery, of $1,000 on false imprisonment, $1,000 on tampering with a witness, $500 on the battery. Conditions of the bond are that you have no contact whatsoever with the named victim in the case, that you possess no weapons, and that you not return to where this occurred. Do we have an address?
Your Honor, I would ask that you consider reducing the $15,000 bond. It looks like he has 0 failures to appear. He's been in the area for over a year, and his last conviction was in 2018. My client's currently unemployed. I would at least ask you to reduce the robbery to $5,000 as well, because we already have the battery. I believe you set the battery at $5,000, Your Honor?
500.
Oh, 500. Okay.
Yes.
So I'd ask for $5,000 on the robbery.
Your request is denied, $15,000. Okay.
So we have a program. For your bond.
Okay. Okay. Sir, could you tell me your name? Okay, Mr. Clairvaux, you were arrested on a charge of aggravated battery, a second-degree felony, as well as a charge of battery domestic violence, a first-degree misdemeanor. Second-degree felonies are punishable by up to 15 years in prison, up to 15 years probation, up to a $10,000 fine. Okay, I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause in this matter. Is there anybody here on this? All right. I will set a bond on the aggravated battery in the amount of $5,000 and in the battery $500. Special conditions are that you have no contact with the named victim and you possess no weapons. Okay. Were you all residing together? Excuse me? Did you live together? Yes. Do you have stuff at the place? You can go back. Also, are you seeking the public defender? Yes. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. You can return to the residence to gather your stuff one time, but accompanied by the police. Do you understand? All right. Thank you. Yeah, maintain separate residence, no contact. And you can go back just to get your stuff. Okay. Okay, that's all. All right. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Ricky Delos Santos Perez.
Okay, Mr. Delos Santos Perez, you were arrested and charged with battery by strangulation in a domestic violence situation. Is there anybody here in this case? No, okay. I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause, and I'm ordering it says you qualify for pretrial release, so I'm going to give you a non-monetary release, a pretrial release, so you don't have to put up any money, but there are conditions to that release. One of the conditions are that you have no contact whatsoever with the victim, that you possess no weapons, that you maintain separate residences. Were you all residing together?
No, I got my own place.
Okay, then there's no reason for you to go back there, right?
No.
Okay, then don't go back there, all right?
Thank you.
And are you seeking the public defender, or does he qualify? You don't qualify for the public defender, so you're going to have to hire your own attorney, sir.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, that's all. All right. Sir, could you tell me your name? All right. Mr. Iketone, you were arrested and charged with battery, domestic violence battery by strangulation, and that's a third-degree felony, and you're also charged with battery domestic violence, which is a first-degree misdemeanor. Okay. And does he qualify for the public defender? I'll appoint the public defender. I did see probable cause here. And we have somebody in the jury box, if we could swear her.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, could you tell me your name?
Rosa and Rodriguez,
Okay, and what's your relationship to this gentleman?
girlfriend.
Okay, State, do you have any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Do you live together?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you.
Yes.
While this case is pending, do you want to continue living together?
Yes.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Has something like this happened before?
No.
Were drugs or alcohol involved in this incident?
No.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you do qualify for pretrial release, which is a non-monetary, you don't have to put up any money, but there are conditions to that release. I'm going to order that you possess no weapons, that you have no hostile contact. Okay, so if you start feeling angry, you need to walk away.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to allow you to have contact. You all do reside together, and she's saying that she's not afraid of you. But understand, if you do have hostile contact, that's going to revoke your pretrial release, and we can change all of those terms. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So no hostile contact and possess no weapons. Okay. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right. Good morning, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Roy Sinclair, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Sinclair, you were arrested and charged with battery, domestic violence by strangulation. I have reviewed this. I do find that there was probable cause to arrest you. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. I'm setting a bond in the amount of $3,500. Conditions of the bond are that you possess no weapons, that you have no contact at all with the named victim here. Are there children involved here?
I don't see any indication, Your Honor.
Okay.
No, Your Honor. They have 2 kids in common, but the children were not present.
Okay. I don't know if DCF's going to get involved here, but if DCF does get involved, you have to follow whatever DCF plan is as part of the conditions of your your release. Do you understand? Anything else, State?
No return, Your Honor?
And no return. So no contact, no return. Okay? That is all. All right. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Anthony Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you were arrested and charged with violation of a domestic injunction, which is a felony, and you have 2 counts of child abuse and 1 count of battery domestic violence. I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Okay. Ma'am?
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, could you tell me your name?
Melissa Anderson.
Okay. State, do you have any questions?
I do, Your Honor, and I will inquire, but I also wanted to ask the court if we could roll this case to the second session. I would like to do a pretrial detention motion. I was working on it this morning, and I should have it completed by this afternoon. So I wanted to let the court know that, so will you allow me?
That's fine, but if we could take her testimony now, since she's here now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am. How do you know the defendant?
We used to date.
Can you come closer to the microphone?
We used to date.
Do you live together?
Not anymore.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
While this case is pending, would you like to have contact with him?
No.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, ma'am. Thank you very much. As far as actually whether I'm going to set a bond on this, because there is an injunction in place and on its face it appears that he violated the injunction, there's a good chance he's not going to get a bond. But I'll hear more about it this afternoon, so we're going to reset this to the afternoon session.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay? But thank you for your testimony, ma'am. I am going to need him present, I'm sorry. I am, yes, I'm sorry. He has a right to be there. Unless he waives it through his attorney.
No, Your Honor.
No, I didn't think so. I don't think you know him well enough to do that at this moment. So- All right. Could you tell me your name, sir?
Darius Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you were arrested and charged with 2 counts of sexual battery with a child between the ages of 12 and 18 in a family relationship. Is there anyone here on this case? No, I don't think so. Okay, sir, I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause, and I am appointing the public defender to represent you. Okay. And given the charge, I'm leaving you set at no bond with a special condition of no contact. That means even from the jail, don't make any phone calls to the named victim in this case. And no unsupervised contact with any minors, anyone under 18. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor. Well, no, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Aaron Bundy.
Okay, Mr. Bundy, I have read through this, and I do find that there is probable cause for the charge of battery domestic violence, which you were arrested on. I am appointing the public defender to represent you. Is there anybody here to testify? Is this gentleman here for you?
No. Well,
Yes. And he doesn't have to be a witness.
I don't think he was the victim, Your Honor. I think he's just,
A friend?
he might be here for
That's my brother.
That's your brother. Okay. Well, I don't know if he has anything relevant to say to this. Sir, you do qualify for pretrial release. Sir, if he wants to testify, have him come in, but all of this is not getting anything done. Yes, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I affirm.
Okay, sir, could you tell me your name?
Darren Bundy?
You can leave the mask off when you're in the little room there. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so this is your brother, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And what do you have to add to this?
So first and foremost, what I will say pertaining to this matter is these types of arguments and altercations have become a common thing, and it has everything to do with the young lady in question's behavior. I come, waste gas, time, and sometimes even miss work to remove him from the situation. I've done it often. In the last 6 months, I've probably removed him from that situation before anything drastic happened over 10 times out of that house. It's always been our go-to thing. When it gets like that and it gets crazy, you call me no matter what I'm doing, even if I have to miss work, and I come get you. This has been going on for months where I've been having to live like this. Then this particular altercation, I find that he gets the whole thing on video. Now, police at the scene were asked for his phone that he misplaced, and she had said that she couldn't find the phone. The phone with the video evidence all of a sudden was randomly missing. So now what happened is we have a family group chat. So she supposedly had this phone. 3:48 Monday morning, he was in custody with no phone, and they removed him from the property with no phone. Yet his phone is in the family group chat, liking and disliking different comments that she liked and didn't like with timestamps.
Okay, sir, I'm going to cut you off. As far as what's relevant to this, he qualifies for pretrial release. He's going to be released today. It's just going to be a matter of what the conditions are. And then all of this stuff that you're talking about, you can talk to his attorney about, and then they can filter out what is relevant and what is not relevant and what is helpful and what is not helpful, okay? So, but for today's purposes, while I appreciate you coming here and supporting your brother, for our purposes, he does qualify for PTR. I'm going to order that you have no contact whatsoever. This seems to be an unhealthy relationship if we're listening to your brother. Maybe it's just time for a permanent end to it, but I can't order that, but I can order that you have no contact. I've appointed the public defender to represent you. Do you have items at the house? Were you all living together?
Yes, and I also have a newborn daughter as well
Okay.
that I provide.
Well, you
for.
can have contact with your daughter. You just can't have contact.
With
You're
her?
going to have to do that through a third party.
Okay.
All right. Yes, please. Yes. Okay. I don't know if DCF has gotten involved or will get involved following a DCF plan. She's going to have to follow the DCF plan as well.
Okay.
So no contact. You can return once to gather your belongings, okay? And that'll be with the police. So you're supervised. And possess no weapons, okay? Okay, just maintain separate residences. Okay. All right. So you will be released today. Those are the conditions. I've appointed the public defender's office. You can call their office and schedule an appointment, all right?
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too. All right. Good morning. Could you tell me your name?
See Marquez.
Okay, Ms. Marquez, you were arrested and charged with battery, domestic violence, a first-degree misdemeanor. Excuse me. I have reviewed this. I do see that there is probable cause in this matter, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Okay, and I'll set bond at $500 with the following conditions: that you have no contact with the named victim in the case, and that you possess no weapons. Okay. Anything else, State?
No return? Oh. I think the victim left and she lives next door to his sister, so no, nothing else.
Okay, so no contact and no weapons.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
We have Mr. Denson next.
So who is this?
Mrs. Denson.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Denson. Are we here on his VOP or his new charge? Right,
It's VOP, Your Honor.
his VOP. That's what I thought. Okay. Sir, you're on probation in Hillsborough County, and there's a new law offense here which is violating your probation, and your judge in Hillsborough County set you at no bond, so I'm going to stay the no bond status. I'll appoint the public defender here pending your transfer back to Hillsborough County. Okay. That is all. Okay, can you tell me your name?
Dixon.
Okay, Mr. Dixon, you are on probation in Lake County, and you have a new law violation, which is violating your Lake County probation. And the judge set your bond at no bond. I'm appointing the public defender pending your transfer back to Lake County. Okay. Okay. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Quadre Janvier.
Okay, Mr. Janvier, you have an out-of-county warrant for failing to appear for pretrials and driving while on a driving while license suspended charge, and that's out of Osceola County, and the judge in Osceola County set you at no bond. So I'm going to stay the no bond status and appoint the public defender pending your transfer down to Osceola County. They make pretty regular trips. You'll probably be out of here in the next day or so.
And I have one question. If I got the ticket up here, why does it say out of state warrant or out of county warrant?
Out of county, it's Osceola County,
Osceola. Okay.
yes. Just Kissimmee, it's just, we're very close to Osceola County right now. So, okay, thank you.
Donald Michael Lombardi bonded.
Okay. I didn't have him anyway.
Michael Martinez bonded also.
Okay. All right, sir, could you tell me your name? What is it?
Eric Messenger.
Eric? I don't have paperwork for him.
Yeah, we don't need him. Yeah, they did an arrest on his out of county. He's not on probation. They did it for DOC.
Sorry, sir.
You have a Hollis Spearman?
I have Octavio Bedenker and Lamar Young. That's all the paperwork I have.
Okay, got it.
Okay,
Still on bond today.
all right. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Xavier Banker.
Okay, Mr. Bedenker, we're showing that you are on probation, and then you have a new law violation of fleeing and eluding an officer with lights and sirens, which is a felony. The judge set you at no bond on your violation of probation. Are we doing the new charge too, or?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And I'll set a bond of $5,000 on your fleeing and eluding charge. But you're no bond on your probation. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. All right. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Lamar Emmanuel Young.
Okay, Mr. Young, you are here on a violation of probation. Judge Barber set you at no bond, so I will stay the no bond status for your violation of probation. Okay, and appoint the public defender to represent you.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Okay, Mr. Hardy, could you tell me your name for the record, sir?
Kenneth James Hardy Jr.
Okay, Mr. Hardy, you were arrested for violating a city ordinance for disorderly conduct. And is there an offer on this case?
There's an offer of a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, and court cost, and Mr. Hardy would like to accept the state's offer.
All right. Sir, have you seen a plea form previously, and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into a plea?
Yes.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
Oh.
Were you on probation at the time of this offense?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, entry of a plea to a crime could subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right, then to the charge of disorderly conduct, how do you wish to plea?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea, find you're entering it freely and voluntarily, and I will withhold adjudication, order court costs, reduce them to a civil judgment, and give you credit for the time that you've served here in the Orange County Jail on this charge, and release you as to this charge. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court. If you cannot afford an attorney for that purpose, one will be provided by the court. And good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Be safe out there. All right. All right. Who do we have here?
Terrence.
Are you
Lee.
Terrence Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Lee, you were arrested and charged with violating a city ordinance for disorderly conduct. And I have a plea form here indicating you'd like to resolve this case today. Is that accurate, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Have you read through a plea form previously, and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into a plea?
No, ma'am.
No, you've never read a plea form before?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I have. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, so you understand you have a right to take your case to trial, and have the state prove by admissible evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed the crime that you're charged with. You understand that, right? Okay, but you want to waive that right and enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
All right. Sir, how do you wish to plead to the charge of disorderly conduct?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea, find you're entering it freely and voluntarily, and I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 7 days in Orange County Jail with credit for 7 days you've already served.
We only served 2, Your Honor.
You were at 7. That's a weird
Oh,
look.
I meant 7 days with credit for the time he.
Oh, okay. So the sentence is 7 days Orange County Jail with credit for 2 days time served?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, I misunderstood. And I'll order court costs reduce those to a civil judgment, sir. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court. If you cannot afford an attorney for that purpose, one will be provided by the court. Okay, good luck to you, sir. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It's afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Anthony Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you were arrested and charged with assault on a law enforcement officer, battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting an officer with violence. And you are also, let's see, you had failed to appear. No. You're on conditional release, currently on a misdemeanor battery charge. So on your new charge, I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause, and I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. And I will set bond on the assault on a law enforcement officer at $1,000, battery on a law enforcement officer at $2,500, and resisting an officer with violence at $1,000.
Your Honor, I guess it's the same thing, but I would just ask that you treat the remaining counts as subsidiaries. We have competency concerns. So even if you say the $2,500, I just ask that you treat the other count as a subsidiary.
Okay. So on the battery on a law enforcement officer, I'll set bond at $2,000. On the assault at $200, and resisting with violence $200. Sir, you were out on conditional release. And the judge in that case is revoking your conditional release and setting a $500 bond in that matter. I am revoking his conditional release and setting the bond on that, on 2021 MM 4484AO at $500. Yes. Okay. All right. That is all, sir. Good luck to you. Doing these? Okay. All right. Do I have a list for this? Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Daniel Bullard.
Okay, so you're here for an in-jail arraignment. You were arrested previously, and you're charged with operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, a second-degree misdemeanor. And this is in Division 84. Was the public defender already appointed on this?
No, Your Honor.
No? Okay.
I'd ask that we be appointed. We're on his other cases, Your Honor.
Okay, I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
And I will enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, we need a pretrial date for Division 84.
Division 84 pretrial conference, April 14th at 8:45 and 4 p.m.
Okay, that is all.
Riti Garcia, medical.
Okay, she's represented by the Public Defender's Office already.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Pretrial in Division 82.
Division 82 pretrial conference, May 18th at 9 a.m. and 9 a.m.
All right.
Brandon Busser, medical.
Represented by the Public Defender's Office.
I will waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Division 81 pretrial conference, April 8th at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
All right. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Douglas Dills.
Okay, Mr. Dills. You are represented by the Public Defender's Office. You're charged with petty theft of $100 or more.
And the offer is a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, and no return to 13121 South Orange Blossom Trail. And we would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
All right. Sir, have you seen a plea form before, and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
Were you on probation at the time of this offense?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and how do you wish to plead to the charge of petty theft of $100 or more?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea, find you're entering it freely and voluntarily, and I will withhold adjudication, give you credit for the 7 days that you've served in the Orange County Jail, order that you not return to 13121 South OBT. Is that a Walmart?
It's a Home Depot, Your Honor.
A Home Depot? Don't go back there. They probably trespassed you, I don't know, but don't go back there. I'm ordering court costs. Is anything else holding you, sir?
No.
Okay, I'll release you as to this charge, and I will give you 1 year to pay off those court costs, okay?
Thank you.
You have 30 days to appeal, sir. Okay, good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Raymond Dean Sanchez, Walbridge.
Okay. Sir, you're here for an arraignment. The Public Defender's Office was appointed when this was a felony, and then when they actually filed on it, it's a misdemeanor. You're charged with driving while license suspended or revoked as a habitual offender, failure to pay, that's a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 6 months probation, up to 60 days in jail, up to a $500 fine, and you're also charged with attaching a license plate or validation sticker not assigned to the vehicle, also a second-degree misdemeanor.
And Your Honor, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay, we'll enter a plea of not guilty and give you a pretrial date in Division 84.
Division 84 pretrial conference, April 14th at 8:45 and 4 p.m.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Sean Jewell.
Okay, Mr. Jewell, you are here, you were arrested and charged with trespass on property after warning. It's the Shell Station at 12360 South Apopka Vineland Road.
And there was an offer from the state, Your Honor, of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to that shell in court costs that Mr. Jewell would like to accept.
All right. Sir, have you seen a plea form before, and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into a plea?
Yes.
Okay. Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Were you on probation at the time of this offense?
No.
And do you understand if you're not a United States citizen, entry of a plea to a crime could subject you to deportation?
Yes.
All right. Then to the charge of trespass on property after warning, how do you wish to plead?
No contest.
Sir, I will accept your plea. I'll find you're entering it freely and voluntarily with an attorney with whom you say you're satisfied, and I will adjudicate you guilty of trespass on property after warning. Give you credit for the time you've already served here in the Orange County Jail. Order that you not return to the Shell Station at 12360 South Apopka Vineland Road, and also that you pay court costs. But I'll reduce those to a civil judgment. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court. If you cannot afford an attorney for that purpose, one will be provided by the court. Good luck to you, sir. Just stay away from there, all right? Okay. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Lane King.
Okay, Mr. King, you were arrested and charged with possession of cannabis under 20 grams, a first-degree misdemeanor, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia, a first-degree misdemeanor, and also soliciting without a permit.
I believe the state has a announcement, Your Honor.
Your Honor, with regard to the charges just listed, case number 22MM1677, the state announces a no information.
Okay. Sir, they're not going to file any charges on you, so I'll release you as to this matter.
Yes, for all three.
This is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
John Faylor Jr.
Okay, Mr. Faylor, you were arrested and charged with violating a city ordinance of disorderly conduct.
And the offer is a withhold of adjudication, credit time served, and Mr. Fowler would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. Sir, have you read through a plea form before, and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into this plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Were you on probation at the time of this offense?
No, ma'am.
And how do you wish to plead to the charge of disorderly conduct?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea, find you're entering it freely and voluntarily. I will withhold adjudication, give you credit for the time you've already served here in the Orange County Jail, order that you pay court costs but reduce them to a civil judgment. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of this court. If you cannot afford an attorney for that purpose, one will be provided by the court. Is credit 2 days?
Yes.
Okay, 2 days time served. Okay. Release you as to this charge. All right. Okay, I'll stay the no bond status on her failure to appear.
Timothy Baker bonded.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name? Okay, Mr. Berman. You were arrested on a 2017 case for failing to appear. You were supposed to go to court on January 6th of this year. You failed to appear in Division 15, and so the judge in Division 15 set you at no bond. So I will stay the no bond status. And I think you already have the public defender on these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pretty sure you do. Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir.
It's fine.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name? Okay, Mr. Clay. You were arrested and charged with aggravated battery with a weapon, robbery armed with a weapon, as well as petty theft, retail. I have reviewed this. Actually, a previous judge found probable cause because you were arrested on a warrant. They set bond on the robbery at $10,000, on the aggravated battery with a weapon, $5,000, the petty theft, $100. I will stay those bonds. Special conditions are that you not return to the property, that you have no contact with any witness, victim, or any co-defendant, and that you possess no weapons. And I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. That is all. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
Jalen Nichols Cobb.
Hey, Mr. Cobb, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear for trial. You were supposed to appear for trial in Division 16 on February 21st. You did not appear. It's for a grand theft third-degree charge. The judge in that set you at no bond, and I will stay that matter. I don't really have a choice, so, okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, John Dickerson's medical.
Okay, I will appoint the public defender to represent him. I do find probable cause on the petty theft, 2 prior convictions.
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, and I'll set bond at $500.
Your Honor, I ask for no return.
And no return to the Speedway gas station. Good afternoon. Could you tell me your name, please?
Boris, last name Jirov.
Okay. Sir, you are here on a couple of matters. You were arrested on a new charge of possession of cocaine,
Yes.
a third-degree felony, and you had failed to appear
Yes.
in Division 80, which is me. You failed to come to court
Uh-huh.
on your paraphernalia charge for pretrial. Okay, so on the failure to appear, I'll stay the bond that I set, which was $500 on the possession of cocaine. I'll set bond at $1,000. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I do find, what? Zagorski?
No, I think he's off the case. I called him the next day. I missed the date.
Okay, well.
Don't talk about the,
Sir, if you just come into court and the next day, I would have withdrawn the capias, so. But anyway, so today, so the PD is just for the new case. Do you still have Dominic Zagorski on your misdemeanor?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Go from the case.
He withdrew?
Yeah, the moment that I didn't show up, and I called him the next day, but he was already withdrawn.
Okay.
and he was going to call you and speak to you and work things out, and he never did anything. I don't know what.
Well, he withdrew as your counsel, so sir, I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you on both of these matters. Okay. All right, thank you. And stayed the bonds. He's got a 500 and 1,000.
You just want to resolve at least one of them?
Resolve it? You agree with offer?
It'd have been an adjudication or withhold and just.
Your Honor, can we bring him back for a second?
If he wants to, it's no.
Is there a question? What,
If we could resolve it as a,
Where is he?
the paraphernalia charge?
Yeah. It'd be a withhold.
yeah, I don't think. If he could step back, Your Honor, and you could take the next case, is okay. I'm just gonna talk to
Okay.
him about the offer,
Okay,
so that it doesn't hold him.
all right.
Well, Your Honor, Darius Hamilton bonded.
Who?
Never mind.
How about Savion Lambert? Okay, that's who I'm dealing with. All right. Can you tell me your name for the record, sir?
Savion Lambert.
Okay, Mr. Lambert, you have a 2022 case where you were arrested for shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling or structure or vehicle, and shooting from a vehicle and criminal mischief. Those 3 charges. You were arrested on a warrant. I will stay the bonds that were set on that warrant. Probable cause was already found by the previous judge. So on the shooting, throwing a missile into a dwelling, I'll set bond at $15,000. Shooting from a vehicle, bond at $1,000. Criminal mischief, bond at $500. With conditions that you not have any contact with the victims or any witnesses, that you not return, and that you possess no weapons. You also have a violation of probation on 2021 CF.
Your Honor, he's already been seen on that.
So we don't do anything on that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Right, no weapons. Okay. Okay. So the previous judge had surrender any weapons that you have, as well as he's going to be in jail. He can't surrender anything. Possess no weapons from. I'm just saying. Yes. Surrender and do not possess weapons or firearms. No contact with the victim, witnesses, or co-defendants. No return to the scene of the offense.
And Your Honor, do you know when this offense allegedly occurred? I don't have it. I just wanted to know if you did.
February 15th of this year. Firing deadly missile into a dwelling, discharging firearm from a vehicle, criminal mischief.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Gangbangers.
Let me see. I believe.
So the failure to appear is gone.
Okay. right. I'm going to butcher your name. We have Boris
Yes.
Jirov.
Yes.
Close enough. Back,
Very
okay. So, are we just resolving the misdemeanor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so on 2020 MM2909AO, sir, have you read through a plea form and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into a plea?
Yeah, no contest.
Yeah, he said yes, no contest.
All right. Sir, have you read through one of these and do you understand the rights you're waiving by entering into a plea?
Yes.
Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Were you on probation at the time of this paraphernalia offense? Okay. Are you satisfied with the services of your attorney?
Yes.
How do you wish to plead to the charge of possession of paraphernalia?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea, find you're entering it freely and voluntarily. I will withhold adjudication, give you credit for the time you've already served here in the Orange County Jail,
It's 5 days.
5 days. I'll release you as to this charge, order that you pay court costs, and I'll give you 1 year to pay those. And I've already set a bond of $1,000 on your possession of cocaine case.
Okay.
Okay? This was a withhold. For plea purposes. All right. All right, sir, could you tell me your name?
Jefferson Marcel.
Okay, Mr. Marcel. You were arrested on 4 counts of aggravated assault with a firearm, 1 count of throwing or shooting into an occupied structure or dwelling, and 1 count of shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling or structure. I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to appoint you on these matters. And these matters date back to November 14th of last year. That's when, because you got arrested on a warrant. Okay. As to the throwing or shooting into an occupied structure or dwelling, I set bond at $15,000. Shooting or throwing a missile into a dwelling, I'll set bond at $10,000, and then $3,000 on each of the aggravated assault with a firearm charges. Special conditions that you have no contact with the victims, any witnesses, or any co-defendants in this case, that you not return to the scene, that you possess no weapons, that you surrender any weapons that you have within 72 hours of your release from jail. Anything else, State?
Just for me, Your Honor, so the first aggravated assault with firearm is 15,000, and then the remaining 3 are 3,000?
No.
No, she did it on the shooting. Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Even from jail. I'll just stay whatever they told us to do there. Okay? All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Okay, good afternoon, sir. Could you tell me your name?
My name, Your Honor, is Robert Louis Parish Jr.
Okay, Mr. Paris, you are here on a case of 2021 CF 11837, failing to appear on a felony case in Division 10. You were supposed to be in court on November 4th of last year, and you failed to appear on this case, and the judge in that case set you at no bond, and I will stay that matter. You're going to have to get before that judge to have that changed. And you also have a violation of conditional release on the same charge. Okay, I'm confused. Oh, so I'm revoking your pretrial release and setting a bond of $1,000 on that matter. Is that the same case?
Yes, so.
I can't really do that. They're two separate charges?
Yes, two separate warrants.
Okay. I will stay both of these, but basically he's no bond. It's the other one. Right, right. You just need to get before the judge in Division 10, sir, okay?
Yeah, I just, it's kind of
Don't,
suspicious to me. It acts like it's an act of murder. I mean, it's just not here in court, and I was homeless, but.
Okay,
I leave it up
don't
to
talk about the failure.
all right. And is he represented by the Public Defender's Office? This is an ongoing case, so. I will appoint the public defender now, so. I thought they already had him.
Is that it?
That's it. Good luck to you, sir. Mhm.
Can you respond?
Okay. I don't have their paperwork, so. Do I have it? Okay. All right, sir, could you tell me your name?
Yes, my name is Emmanuel Rivera.
Okay, Mr. Rivera, you were arrested and charged with burglary of an occupied structure. I've reviewed this. I do find probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you, and I will set bond in the amount of $5,000 in that matter.
Ma'am, I never stole nothing in the apartment. I only entered because it was open.
Don't talk.
Okay, and sir, you're out on bond in Seminole County for 2 petty thefts right now.
And I need to make it to court to those petty thefts.
You what?
I need to make it to court to those petty thefts in Seminole County.
Okay. I'm just letting you know you're out on bond. By getting arrested for this, it's going to violate the conditions of your bond. They're probably going to revoke those bonds, but I'm not doing that because I'm not a Seminole County judge. All right? Good luck to you, sir.
Judge, I ask for no return.
$5,000 in no return.
Yeah, I'm not getting out anyways. I don't got.
And no contact also, Your Honor.
And no contact with the named victim. Okay.
And Your Honor, on this case, I did have a PC argument.
I think I'm in agreement. I already crossed out the intent to sell
Okay,
on both of them. They're simple possessions. I
Thank you,
don't
Your
see anything with intent to sell. Okay, so I think we're all on the same. He doesn't really qualify for the public defender, but, okay, sir, you were arrested and charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, a first-degree misdemeanor. When they arrested you, they charged you with possession of cocaine and possession of MDMA, both with intent to sell. In reviewing this, I don't see probable cause for intent to sell, but I do see simple possession. So those are both third-degree felonies, punishable by up to 5 years prison, up to 5 years probation, up to a $5,000 fine on each of those. So you have 11 years of jurisdiction here. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So on the 2 felony possession cases, I'll set bond at $1,000 each. On the paraphernalia charge at $100 each. I'm finding possession of cocaine and possession of MDMA, but not intent to sell. Not the F2, just the F3.
It's the same statute, it's just going to be a different subsection, if you give me a moment.
9313 something. Okay. All right. That's all, sir. All right, sir, could you tell me your name?
Rosa and Hemphill.
Okay, Mr. Hemphill, you have 4 separate cases where you failed to appear. 3 of them are in Division 22, 1 of them is in Division 16. The judges in those, when you failed to appear, set you at no bond. I will stay the no bond status in all 4 of those cases. Were we here on all 4?
Yes.
I thought so, okay. So you just need to get in front of those other judges. Are you already represented by the Public Defender's Office, sir? Yes? I'm being told you are. Okay. No. He can afford an attorney on those matters. They're not going to be that expensive. All right. All right. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Brian Sato Morales.
Okay, Mr. Santa Morales, you were arrested on a warrant for failure to appear in court. I didn't have paperwork on this. Is it set at no bond? Yeah. Santa Morales. I could just look it up.
Yes, it's at a no bond now.
It's set at no bond.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a failure to appear, and the judge set it at no bond, so I will stay the no bond status. You're already represented by the Public Defender's Office. Okay, and I'll take no further action. Thank you. All right, sir, could you tell me your name?
David Arthur Smith, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Smith, you were arrested and charged with 3 felonies. The first is dealing in stolen property. The second is possession of MDMA. And the third is resisting an officer without violence. The dealing in stolen property is a 2nd-degree felony. The possession and resisting are both, oh wait, no, the possession is a 3rd-degree felony. The resisting without violence is a misdemeanor, 1st-degree misdemeanor. All right, I have reviewed this. I do find probable cause in this matter. Are you seeking the public defender?
That again, ma'am?
Are you seeking to have the public defender appointed? I will appoint the public defender to represent you. And in the dealing in stolen property case, I will set bond in the amount of $2,500. In the possession of MDMA, set bond at $1,000. Resisting without violence, set bond at $500. And that is all. Okay. All right, good afternoon, ma'am. Could you tell me your name?
Melanie Warren.
Okay, Miss Warren, you were arrested, and the officers charge you with possession of MDMA with intent to sell, possession of heroin with intent to sell, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed this. I find probable cause only for simple possession, no intent to sell. I didn't see any evidence of that in the police report. And for possession of heroin, also no intent to sell, and then possession of drug paraphernalia. Are you seeking the public defender? She doesn't qualify? Okay, I will appoint the public defender to represent you. And I'll set bond.
She does qualify for pretrial release. I would ask for pretrial release in this case.
Okay. All right, Grant, ma'am, I will release you on pretrial release. Okay, but a special condition of no illicit drugs. And I am ordering random urinalysis as part of your pretrial release. Okay. And that is all.
Okay, thank you. It's 893.13 for the meth. It is sub 6 sub A-27. I'm still looking for cocaine.
Aren't we all? No. I'm kidding. It's not the 80s anymore. So. Oh. Okay, and who is this gentleman?
Anthony Williams.
Oh, it is. I see. Okay. I don't know why I thought I looked him. Okay, sir, could you tell me your name?
Anthony Williams.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you are here, well, you were here for initial appearance, but the state has actually filed for a motion for pretrial detention. So as far as your initial appearance, you were arrested and charged with violation of a domestic injunction, and then 2 counts of child abuse and 1 count of domestic violence battery. And those matters would violate any domestic injunction that's in place. And so, sir, while you are, well, would you like to be heard, ma'am?
Your Honor, the only thing that I would ask is that the pretrial detention motion be heard within 5 days.
So we're not hearing it right now?
No,
Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Should we hear it? I'm here all week.
Your Honor, my understanding is it's actually heard in the division.
Oh, okay.
Once it's assigned. So it would be within the 5 days. And I guess if they're not ready, someone can ask for an extension of an additional 5 days.
Okay. For the time being, sir, as far as me setting a bond, I'm going to set you at no bond, given that there was an injunction in place and everything seems to be indicating that you are not abiding by the injunction. So to keep people safe and let things cool down, I am keeping you set at no bond on each of these cases. It's for a matter of public safety. And as far, can I pick a date for them, or they need to do this within division?
I don't know that particular detail, Your Honor.
I think if the order states within 5 days, Your Honor, that would be sufficient. We're going to make sure that we get a date set.
Okay, I'm ordering that this be heard within 5 business days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. And then, no, just no bond, and then we'll let the division, the felony judge deal with it. I'm just leaving him set at no bond right now. Well, actually, no bond and no contact even from jail with any of the witnesses or victims in this case. Condition of his no bond. I'll get that back to you. Almost 1 o'clock. How's that for timing?
Hey, we've been doing good lately. Let me knock on wood. I shouldn't
I was
have
gonna
said
say,
that. Oh my God, I jinxed
we need to
it.
savor it because tomorrow is probably gonna be a nightmare, so. But no, so far this is
I think we only have this.
timed out well. Who is this gentleman? Okay. Cristian Ayala, Senor? Okay. Un momento.
I think they got one more minute before they return back from lunch.
Oh, no. Un momento. Okay.
Your Honor, while we wait, may I approach Madam Clerk?
Yes.
Thank you. There's also a heroin. I'm looking for the heroin. So you know it's going to be a 6A dash something. I'm tempted. Okay.
That's been a long minute.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Good afternoon. We have one Spanish-speaking client here.
Sí.
There is contact, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Sir, could you tell me your name?
Cristian Joel Berrío Ayala.
Cristian Joel Berríos Ayala.
Mr. Berrios Ayala, you were arrested and charged with grand theft third degree for allegedly taking a bike from the area of the Home Depot. I've reviewed this. I do find probable cause in this matter. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. And I'll set bond in the amount of $500 and that you have no contact with the owner of the bike and that you not return to the Home Depot. Anything else, State?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And that is all. This is on case 2022 CF 2840AO.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
My job today is to appoint counsel in the event you qualify. At this time, I am going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent everyone at this proceeding unless private counsel appears to represent you. You all have the right to remain silent. I urge you to exercise that right. My job is to remind you of to advise you of the charges against you and to determine whether or not there is probable cause for the charge. If a warrant has already been issued, probable cause was already found, and I will determine the conditions of release and set any bonds as appropriate. First case is Jacinda Zakhar.
Benjamin Baird for the state.
Present, Your Honor. She's approaching. She's in the cage.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this time, can we waive the reading of the charges, please?
We can.
Thank you. And just for efficiency's sake, Your Honor, your order is warrants, VOPs, FTAs, or...
I'm sorry, can you get closer?
I apologize. Just for efficiency's sake, I was asking if your order is warrants, VOPs, FTAs, or...
It's typically the Spanish cases, the out-of-county warrants, or the warrants and the new cases.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right. Ms. Zakhar, I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Your attorney has waived the reading of the charges. Probable cause has already been found for the charges pursuant to the arrest warrant that was issued. Would the state like to be heard regarding bond and/or conditions of release?
Your Honor, bonds presently set on the warrant at 0. The state requests the bond remain at 0.
Does, counsel, do you care to be heard?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. And I will do that. Bond is to remain at 0 at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is the
That's all I
state requesting any other conditions?
have. Not at this time, Your Honor, with the bond remaining at none. There's no other conditions.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I've been informed that you've been provided a list of Spanish cases, but I do have one more, so that you're aware.
All right, who do you have to add to the list?
Jose Rodriguez Torres.
And counsel, could you spell your last name again, please?
Your Honor, N as in Nancy, A, D as in David, A, L. Nadal, like the...
Okay, thank you. I think that mask makes it tough sometimes. All right. I'm going to get the Spanish interpreter on.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jaime Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, already sworn.
Good afternoon, sir. All right, David Carretero Nieves, case 22 MM 544. Sir, I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Muy bien, yo le he nombrado a la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente.
You are charged with one count of battery, unlawful touching, or striking domestic in nature.
Usted está acusado de un solo cargo de agresión, toque ilegal o golpe de naturaleza de violencia doméstica.
I find probable cause for the charge.
Yo he encontrado causa probable por ese cargo.
Bond is set at $1,000
La fianza va a ser $1,000
with PTR.
con condiciones de libertad de la oficina anterior al juicio.
You're to have no contact with the alleged victim.
No puede tener contacto con la alegada víctima.
PTR, I show they reside together, correct?
Aparentemente viven juntos, ¿correcto?
One moment, Your Honor. We were unable to speak to the victim.
Okay.
No pudimos hablar con la víctima.
Let's do this. If you reside together, you're to maintain separate residences, but you may return on a one-time basis in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve your personal possessions.
Muy bien, pues vamos a hacer lo siguiente. Si es que ustedes viven juntos, puede regresar en una sola ocasión acompañado por las autoridades para recuperar sus pertenencias.
Please be seated.
Se puede sentar.
Luis Lopez Ocasio. Sir, I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
Muy bien, yo he nombrado a la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente.
You're charged with the following:
Y usted está acusado de lo siguiente.
Sale of cocaine, a Schedule II substance.
Venta de cocaína, que es del itinerario número 2.
Manufacture or delivery of drug paraphernalia.
Fabricación o entrega de parafernalia de droga.
Unlawful use of a two-way communication device.
Uso ilegal de un dispositivo de comunicación de 2 vías.
Resisting arrest without violence.
Y resistir arresto sin violencia.
Pursuant to the administrative order, you will be released under direct PTR conditions.
Conforme a la orden administrativa, usted va a ser liberado con las condiciones de la Oficina de Antelación a Juicio.
You may be seated.
Se puede sentar.
Mr. Interpreter, that case was 22 CF 715.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nelson Mendez Sarcos, 22 MM 545. Sir, you're charged with 1 count of battery, unlawful touching or striking, domestic in nature.
Muy bien, usted está acusado de un solo cargo de agresión o toque ilegal o indebido en violencia doméstica.
I've reviewed the charging affidavit and I found probable cause for the charge.
He revisado la declaración jurada y estoy encontrando causa probable.
PTR, I have a note indicating that the alleged victim does want contact.
Tengo una nota de la Oficina de Antelación a Juicio indicando que la víctima desea tener contacto.
Yes, they want contact with the defendant for the kids.
Si quiere tener contacto con el acusado debido a los niños.
Well, they currently reside together as a family. Does she want to live with him or just contact with him for the kids' sake?
Actualmente ellos viven juntos como familia. ¿Ella quiere que él viva en la residencia o quiere tener contacto con él solamente para los niños?
She advised that she does not want the defendant to return to the home.
Ella indicó que no desea que el acusado regrese a la casa.
I'm ordering the conditions of your release as follows. Bond is set at $1,000
Muy bien, las condiciones para su libertad van a ser las siguientes. La fianza va a ser $1,000
with PTR conditions.
con las condiciones de la Oficina de Antelación al Juicio.
You're to maintain separate residences, but may return on a one-time basis in the presence of law enforcement to retrieve your personal possessions.
Puede regresar en una sola ocasión en presencia de las autoridades para recuperar las pertenencias que necesite y tiene que mantener residencia por separado.
And there's to be no hostile contact with the victim.
Y no puede tener contacto hostil con la víctima.
You're also to possess no weapons or firearms.
Tampoco puede poseer ninguna arma de fuego u otra arma peligrosa.
Please be seated.
Se puede sentar.
Christian Rodriguez. I have appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you in each of the 3 cases.
Muy bien, he nombrado a la oficina del defensor público para que lo represente en cada uno de sus 3 casos.
For the interpreter, I have case numbers 22CT767, 22CF720. I don't have a third case. 22CF721.
Muy bien, los 3 casos son el CT767, CF720 y CF721.
That last number is a different case, sir.
Ese último caso es un caso distinto.
All right. You're charged with the following: operating a motor vehicle without a valid registration, without a valid driver's license.
Muy bien, usted está acusado de manejar un vehículo de motor sin tener licencia válida.
I've reviewed the charging affidavit and find probable cause for that charge.
He revisado la declaración jurada de los cargos y encontré causa probable.
Bond is set at $500.
La fianza van a ser $500.
In your second case, you are charged with failing to register as required and providing false information regarding your status.
Muy bien, en el segundo caso usted está acusado de no registrarse según era requerido y dar información falsa en cuanto a su estatus.
Bond is set at $2,500 on count 1 and $150 on count 2.
La fianza van a ser $2,500 en el cargo número 1 y $150 en el cargo número 2.
In the third case, you're charged with violation of your probation and/or community control.
En el tercer caso está acusado de una violación de la libertad condicional o de la probatoria y no someterse al control de comunidad.
Bond is set at 0, no bond.
Y ahí la fianza es 0, no hay fianza.
You may be seated.
Se puede sentar.
Luis Rosa Ramos.
Mr. Rosa Ramos, I apologize. There were some behavioral issues.
We'll reset her for, or him for tomorrow. Where's Torres? No, where?
It was actually right above that one, Your Honor. Although it would probably pulled out separately. I apologize.
She's one of the pink new cases.
New cases.
Pink, yeah.
Pink. Apparently, we have one more, Mr. Translator.
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe two more, Your Honor. I don't believe Ms. Rivera was called.
We didn't have that one, so who was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Meyer Rivera.
All right, I've got her now, and I'm still looking for Torres. Tell you what.
No, he's a VOP.
It's a VOP, Your Honor.
The red one.
Rodriguez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Rodriguez, or Jose Rodriguez Torres. This is 2007 CF 795. Sir, I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent your charged with violating your probation, and a warrant was issued by Judge Karsten, set your bond at zero.
Usted está acusado de una violación de la libertad condicional. Él impuso una fianza de 0. No hay fianza.
Where it will remain.
Y así va a permanecer.
You may be seated.
Se puede sentar.
Rivera.
Mayra.
I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you.
En nombre de la Oficina del Defensor Público para que la representen.
You're charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
Usted está acusada de agresión agravada con un arma mortífera.
And battery, unlawful touching or striking, domestic in nature.
Y agresión con un toque ilegal o un golpe de naturaleza doméstica.
I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find probable cause for the charge.
Yo he revisado los cargos y la declaración jurada y he encontrado causa probable.
Bond is set at $5,000 on count 1.
La fianza va a ser $5,000 por el cargo número 1.
$1,000 on count 2.
$1,000 en el cargo número 2.
With PTR conditions on both counts.
Con las condiciones de la Oficina de Antelación al Juicio para ambos cargos.
You are to have no contact with the alleged victim.
No puede tener contacto con la alegada víctima.
If you reside together, you may return on a one-time basis in the presence of law enforcement to gather your personal possessions.
Si puede regresar en una sola ocasión a la propiedad, acompañado de las autoridades para recuperar sus pertenencias.
You are to possess no weapons or firearms.
No puede poseer armas de fuego ni ninguna otra arma peligrosa.
You may be seated.
Se puede sentar.
Would the
Your Honor, can the interpreter get that case number?
Yes. 22 CF 718.
718. Thank you.
Would the interpreter make the following announcement, please? If there is anyone else who needs the services of a Spanish interpreter, please raise your hand.
Si hay alguna otra persona que necesite los servicios de traducción al español, por favor levanten la mano.
All right, thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is this Judge Schreiber?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Decal. Mr. Decal, you're here based upon an out-of-county warrant issued out of Orange County for a violation of your probation. That warrant set your bond at zero, no bond.
Your Honor, Mr. Decal would like me to inquire with the court if there's any of the BOP affidavit is available to let him know what the violation.
If there's any what?
If the BOP affidavit is available to the court to let him know what the violation was.
I don't know that I have the actual VOP warrant out of Orange County Council. Does the state happen to know?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I do not have that information.
Sorry, Your Honor, may he be excused? Your Honor?
Yes, I do have the, is he asking what the underlying case was or what the violation was?
What the violation was, Your Honor.
I do not have that information.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Tawny Baker.
Approaching, Your Honor.
Sir, you are here on 4 out-of-county warrants. They are all issued out of Broward County. They are all for violation of your, well, hold on. They are all for felony violation of your probation, and they all set your bond at 0.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, do you have a time and date that I'm getting picked up or no? How does that work?
You're gonna have to find out that information down there. Jesus Joseph.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you please repeat?
Jesus Joseph.
Thank you. Your Honor, he is not present. The officers believe he's not here in custody. Oh, no, he's not in custody. Okay.
Did he bond? A bond was posted.
Oh, yes, Your Honor, there is a bond on this warrant.
Okay. All right. Muhammad Ali Imani.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're here, sir, for 3 cases. They're all warrants for violation of your probation. In 21 CF 164, Judge Nix Walker set your bond at 0. In case 19 CT 2760, Judge Epperson set your bond at 0. And in 21 CF 1469, Judge Nix Walker set your bond at 0. Among the violations of the conditions of your probation for all of these is the violation of condition 5, failing to live without violating any law by being arrested for a new criminal offense. I'm leaving your bonds as set. Please be seated. Diosdado Hernandez, Jr. You're here for violation of your probation. A warrant was issued by Judge Sanders. Your bond is set at 0. You may be seated.
Can you please tell me what's my violation for? Please?
Your violations are for not remaining at liberty without violating any new laws. You purportedly violated this condition by committing the offense of conspiracy to traffic in fentanyl, 14 grams or more, unlawful use of a two-way communication device on October 7 of 2021, as evidenced in the affidavit. You also failed to comply with certain financial obligations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nasir Muhammad. Sir, you're here based upon a bench warrant for failure to appear for your violation of probation arraignment. Your bond was set at 0 by Judge Nix Walker. And counsel, again, at the beginning, appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent all of these folks. So I want to make sure you've got that.
Yes, Your Honor, we do.
All right. Zachary Rosamond. Sir, you are charged with burglary of an occupied conveyance, larceny from a motor vehicle, theft, petty theft, in an amount less than $750, and battery, commission of a domestic battery by strangulation. Probable cause was previously found. For all of those charges, your bond is set as follows: $2,500 on count 1, $250 on count 2. I'm going to give you a bond of $5,000 on count 3. You're to have no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, possess no weapons or firearms. You may be seated. Angel Rosario.
Approaching, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Sir, you are here because of a warrant for violation of your probation. The specific conditions are that you undertake certain financial responsibilities which were not done. You did not complete your community service. You did not enroll in your Delos class within 60 days and show proof to your probation officer. Judge Epperson set your bond at 0, no bond, until such time as you're brought before him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Juan Santana. Sir, you're charged with criminal mischief in an amount greater than $1,000. Probable cause was previously found. Your bond is set at $1,000.
Your Honor, pardon the interruption, however, I've been
He qualifies for direct PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I was
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
expecting you to say. Thank you, counsel. I will set your condition of relief as direct PTR per the administrative order. However, you're to have no return to the scene and no contact with the victim or witnesses.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Nautica Stokes.
Approaching.
You are here pursuant to a warrant issued for violation, for failure to appear at your arraignment. Judge Nix Walker issued a bench warrant setting your bond at 0. Megan Valle.
Your Honor, Ms. Valle is in the hospital. Can we reset, please?
Reset when available. Who's here for that case? We can't go forward because we don't have the individual. So it's going to be reset when available, most likely in 24 hours or 48, depending on when he's available. All right. Jared Swanger.
Approaching.
You are charged, sir, with violation of Condition 5 of your probation, failing to live without violating any law by committing the criminal offense of disorderly conduct on February 26th of 2022. Judge Nix Walker issued a warrant setting your bond at 0. Carlos R.C. Echevarria. Sir, you are charged with fleeing or eluding a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated and failure to have the required endorsement on your driver's license. I've reviewed the affidavit, and I do find there's probable cause for the charges. Talk to your attorney. I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you and would remind you anything you say can be used against you. This is not the trial, and I'm not going to be able to address whether or not the charge is accurate. All right? However, I can set your bond, and I'm going to set your bond as follows. For the failure to have the required endorsement on the driver's license, I'm going to set it at $100. For the fleeing, eluding law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated, I'm setting it at $5,000. And that is all. With regard to the open cases, I'm taking no action. Roberto Chu. Sir, you're charged with commission of domestic battery by strangulation, battery unlawful touching or striking, domestic in nature, violation of a domestic injunction, and intentional threats to do violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause for the charge. PTR, I show that there's a 22 mm 150 battery, unlawful touching or striking, that he is out on bail on. Is it the same victim?
I am unsure, Your Honor, if it's the same victim.
Your Honor, it is the same.
It is the same victim. Okay, thank you. And it's, okay. Well, as I indicated, I do find probable cause for the charges. PTR has had no contact with the victim?
Yes, we had no contact.
Bond is set at $5,000 on the commission of a domestic battery by strangulation, $1,000 on the battery unlawful touching or striking, $1,000 on the violation of a domestic injunction, $100 on the fourth count. You are to have no contact with the alleged victim. You are to maintain separate residences. You are to not go within 1,000 feet of that residence. If you do, that alone will be a violation of the conditions of your release, subjecting you to that orange jumpsuit again. You're to possess no weapons or firearms. You may be seated.
Your Honor, will you be taking any action on the case he's out on?
Hold on, sir. I am. You're out on bail on 22 mm 150 battery, unlawful touching or striking. I'm revoking your bail and other conditions of release, setting your bond at $0 at this time until such time as you're brought before the presiding judge in that case. Clinton Dennis.
Just for the court's aware, Mr. Dennis does qualify for direct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Dennis, you are charged with driving while license suspended or revoked as a habitual second or subsequent offender. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I find probable cause for the charges. You're released under direct PTR conditions pursuant to the administrative order. Melissa Hedrick. You are charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession and/or use of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find that you are that there is probable cause for the charges. You do not qualify for PTR. Accordingly, your bond is set at $1,000 on count 1, $250 on count 2. I have a different case identified here. I don't know what the charges were.
Your Honor, the charges were larceny and possession of controlled substance. substance, I'm sorry, and she's out on CDP on that case.
I'm revoking the conditions of your release in 21 CF 1895, setting your bond at 0, no bond until such time as you're brought before the presiding judge. You may be seated. John McGowan. Mr. McGowan, you are charged here in a couple of cases. In the first one, you've got providing a false ID to a law enforcement officer. Possession of a controlled substance, that being methamphetamine, and possession and or use of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the charging affidavit. I find probable cause for each of the charges. Bond is set as follows. For the possession of a controlled substance, $1,000. For each of the other two counts, $250 for a total of $1,500. In the second case, you're charged with driving while license suspended or revoked with knowledge. Bond is set at $500. Please be seated. Rhonda Meyer.
Your Honor, for Ms. Meyer's case, I do have a PC argument.
All right. You are charged with burglary with assault or battery and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. Go ahead, counsel. Let's hear your argument.
It's brief, Your Honor. Burglary with assault or battery requires intent to commit an offense. There's no
Counsel, I'm sorry. Can you get a little closer to your mic and start over?
It's a brief argument, Your Honor. Burglary with assault or battery requires intent to commit an offense. The affidavit didn't indicate that the defendant had an intent to commit an offense. She entered through a window and she spoke to children. However, that doesn't indicate an offense. And I think at most it would be a trespass, burglary, Your Honor.
All right. So you're only contesting the first count, correct? All right. Response, please.
Your Honor, State would argue that the issue of whether or not she intended to commit a crime therein would be better adjusted at trial. For the purposes of probable cause, she had a knife in her hand. The victims testified that he was afraid that and so that an assault could have been committed while they were in there. She was halfway through the window with the knife in her hand, talking to his children. He had reasonable fear that he could be harmed inside his home.
Where is it alleged that she had intent to commit a crime?
Your Honor, the crime would be the assault at that point, because she entered the home with a knife. Whether or not she intended to commit the crime mentally, like whether or not that could be an argument that would be better served to be made at trial, not for probable cause.
Ms. Nadal, do you agree?
No, Your Honor. I believe that probable cause requires that the court take into consideration the intent as that's a material element of the burglary. And since there is no indication here that there was an intent to commit an offense, I don't believe there's probable cause. Additionally, there's no indication or testimony as to what the conversation was had with said children. The state is conceding that there was no intent listed, and furthermore, while we do understand that she may have had a knife, that's why defense is not contesting the assault, as assault requires fear, and the alleged victim has indicated that there was. However, that doesn't amount to a burglary with an intent to commit an offense.
But you acknowledge there would be probable cause for the trespass burglary?
Trespass, Your Honor, yes. Because it's indicated that Ms. Mayer was unauthorized to be at the home. However, there's no indication that she had any indication to commit an offense. In fact, Ms. Mayer reported to officers that she had a knife in order to carve a picture, which doesn't sound like an offense to me.
All right. I do not find probable cause for the charge of burglary with assault or battery. I do find probable cause for ag assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. I do find there's probable cause for the charge of a trespass. Accordingly, I'm going to set bond on count 2 at $1,500. On count 1, I'm going to ROR her. Is trespass a lesser included or just a separate charge?
I don't know that.
Okay. All right. I will find probable cause for trespass, and I'm going to set bond at $1,000 on the trespass. 1,000. I'm going to order that there's to be no contact with the alleged victim or their family. I'm going to order that she's not to possess any weapons or firearms, and she's not to return to the scene where this occurred.
Your Honor, Ms. Mayer is indicating that she's transient and her family is out of state and will be unable to assist her in an appropriate bond. Would the court consider ROR on both charges?
I would not. I would not. Okay? Hold on a second.
For the record, State would just like to notate, defense counsel stated that State conceded to the fact that there was no intent. At no point did State concede there was no intent. State stated that it was actually something that was better served to issue at trial, just for the record.
Very good. Thank you. You may be seated. Dion Roberts. Mr. Roberts, you're charged with the following: aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Probable cause was previously found on that case pursuant to the affidavit for arrest warrant and the arrest warrant that was signed by Judge Tynan. Your bond in that case was set at $20,000. You're also charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. I've reviewed the charging affidavit on that. I find probable cause and bond is set at $4,000. You, in connection with the warrant case, you also have the requirements that you are not to return to the scene, you're to have no contact with the victim, and possess no weapons. And you may be seated.
Your Honor, Mr. Roberts alleges that he's unaware of what location he's not allowed to return to. Does the court have that information?
I believe I do. You may not return to the Advanced Auto Parts located at 1606 North Main Street.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Chassis Summers. Sir, you're charged with possession of weapon or ammunitions in violation of a final injunction for domestic violence or stalking. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find probable cause for the charges. Bond is set at $1,000 with PTR conditions, and you are to relinquish all firearms in your possession as per the injunction. You shall surrender any firearms or ammunition in your possession to the County Sheriff's Department. Let's make that within 10 days of your release from incarceration.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Kenneth Whitt. You may be seated, sir. Sir, you're charged with the following: possession of a controlled substance, that being methamphetamines, and possession or use of drug paraphernalia. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I find probable cause exists for the charges. Your bond is set as follows: $1,000 for count 1, $250 for count 2, for a total of $1,250. However, you are also out on bond and PTR in a couple of other cases. I will take no action on 21 CT 2396, which is the valid driver's license case. I will revoke your bond and/or PTR in 21 CF 236, which is the drug case. And I'm going to set your bond at 0 until you've been brought before the presiding judge for further redress. Samuel Gonzalez.
Your Honor, Mr. Gonzalez refused. Can we please reset him?
He refuses? All right, we'll reset it tomorrow.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Giovanni Rosa.
Your Honor, I apologize. Can we recall Chase Summers, PTR once, and I must have missed it. Did you add PTR to that bond condition?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Giovanni Rosa.
Yes, Your Honor. Can we please waive the reading of the charges?
We can. You has waived the reading of the charges. I have reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause for the charges. Bond is set at $5,000. You're to have no contact with the alleged victim or her family. And I know what you're going to ask. What else is the state requesting?
Your Honor, state would request that he have no contact with minors.
Your Honor, defense can't hear the state.
I can't hear you.
Defense cannot hear the state.
I know. I couldn't barely, you got to talk in the mic.
State would request that he have no contact with minors.
I'm going to include that condition, no contact with minors.
Thank you.
Jackie Wallace. All right, sir, you're charged with the following: burglary to an occupied dwelling unarmed, and larceny, theft, first degree, in the amount greater than $100, in the amount, greater than $100, but less than $750.
Your Honor, last name Wallace?
Wallace, yes. What is your name, sir?
Jackie Wallace.
I believe that I have that affidavit.
22 CF 378. It's the last one on my list before the re-IAs.
No, Your Honor, it's not. It's not on my list. And it's
What do you want to do?
Can we reset till tomorrow, Your Honor? Or unless, perhaps if PCR can provide me a copy here within the office, I can read it quickly.
All right, why don't we see if PTR can do that, because I was going to give him bonds on both charges. Let me tell him at least what the charges are, and then why don't you see if PTR can get you the arrest affidavit. Again, it's 22 CF 378.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
22 CF 378.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the charge is burglary, occupied of a dwelling unarmed, and larceny, petty theft, first degree, in an amount greater than $100, but less than $750. And with that, take a seat, sir, and we will recall you.
PCR is working on that now, Your Honor.
All right.
The other two, Majeski and Sierra Perez, they refused. Or, sorry, Gonzalez.
Hold on. Well, they're not gonna. We're gonna go anyway because this is their third time. We're not gonna keep doing this game. So Samuel David Gonzalez, he's refused again?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I previously appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. Counsel, will you waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. He is charged with grand theft in an amount greater than $300 but less than $5,000, and committing theft resisting recovery of property. I've reviewed the charging affidavit. I do find probable cause for the charges. Bond is set at, I'm setting it at $1,000 on count one and $500 on count two, with the additional condition he is not to appear or return to the Lowe's located at 1300 West Osceola Parkway in Kissimmee. Next is Samuel Gonzalez. He also refused again?
Yes, Your Honor.
He has two cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on. Oh, same individual, apologize. He's a second case, which I hope you're waiving his appearance on. Okay, well, I don't have the new one, do I? I don't have the new one on for today.
I forgot to separate them, but it was reset because it was.
Okay, I'll give him one refusal. Okay, this is Samuel David Gonzalez, 22 MM 527. He's been charged with petty theft in an amount greater than $100 but less than $300. Bond is set at $500. I do find probable cause, by the way, and he's not to return to the Lowe's located on West Osceola. Nicholas Majeski.
Your Honor, just getting it off for Mr. Majeski, he has refused that this type of defense waives his appearance.
Then we will reset him for tomorrow. This is has he refused twice? This is his third? Disregard, we're going to go forward. He's had his 3 strikes. So Nicholas Majeski, I've previously appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent him. Counsel, are you waiving his appearance today?
Yes, Your Honor.
He is charged with the following: petty theft, first offense, trespass to an occupied structure or conveyance, trafficking in cocaine in an amount greater than 28 grams but less than 150 grams, possession and or use of drug paraphernalia. Is it 150 kilograms? Kilograms. Possession or use of drug paraphernalia, and possession of a weapon by weapons or ammo by a Florida convicted felon. I find probable cause for all of the charges. Bond is set as follows. Count 1, petty theft, $250. Count 2, the trespass, $500. Count 3, the trafficking in cocaine, $50,000. Count 4, possession or use of drug paraphernalia, I'm dropping that to $100. Count 5, possession of a weapon or ammo by a Florida convicted felon, $4,000. He is also out on bond. I'm taking no action on the driving while license suspended case. Either of those cases. I'm revoking his bond in case number 21 CF 8167, the drug-related case, setting his bond at 0 until such time as he's brought before the presiding judge.
If I may just have a moment, I've received the affidavit for Mr. Wallace.
Great.
Thank you.
We still have Angel Sierra Perez.
He refused as well, Your Honor. As it's an FTA, defense will waive.
All right. Based on the waiver, his bond will remain at 0 per Judge Karsten. We have one more. Do we have? I need Nelson Caratorero. It's a new case. Is it a Spanish case?
Yeah.
Can I have the conditions? I'll give them back if you need them. Jack separate residence. Okay. Let's see.
Your Honor.
I want to recall briefly, and I know the defendant is no longer in the room, David Carretero Nieves. We have the victim here. She was a few minutes late and was not present when the case was called. Does she speak English? Okay. I at least want to get her information on the record for the state and the defense. Ma'am, raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you're going to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
I swear, Your Honor. I do.
You do, okay. She has, I normally wouldn't do this without the defendant present, but she wants him to come home. She doesn't, well, let's find out. She wants contact, essentially, so I just wanted.
I was just going to have to see us bring him down, but.
We can do that?
We can.
All right, let's do that. Let's bring him back. Stick around, we'll recall this case as well. Let's bring him back and we're going to reconsider his conditions of release.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let me know when you have the Wallace affidavit.
case, there's actually, information sheet that was filed
Which, no info?
in the, Wallace one. They didn't approve.
The state no info did already?
There's an info in the case.
Let me see. Which cases? Oh, they filed, they didn't know him, they didn't drop the charges, they've already filed.
No.
Gotcha.
At least they added
Counsel, the state's already filed in this case. You might want to know that, too.
Your Honor, yes, I'm aware. PTR provides me with a copy of the information. I will provide it to Mr. Wallace. I have already reviewed the charging affidavit, and at this time, defense doesn't have a PC argument.
At this time?
No PC argument.
Okay. Are we still waiting for him to appear?
Mr. Wallace is here. We're still waiting on Mr. Carrero.
All right, but you still want you still want to wait on getting the arrest warrant?
No, I got it.
Okay, you got, I missed that, I'm sorry.
I got it, I read it, I have no PC argument.
Okay, very good. Mr. Wallace, come up again, please. All right, sir. Again, I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. You're charged with burglary to an occupied dwelling unarmed. And larceny, petty theft, first degree, in an amount greater than $100 but less than $750. Probable cause was found on both charges. I would note the state has already filed the info on both charges. Bond is set at $5,000 on count 1 and $500 on count 2. You are to not return to the Walgreens located on Earl Bronson Memorial Highway. In other words, the scene where this incident occurred. You're to have no contact with the co-defendants. And you may be seated.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Mr. Carretero is here, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to recall David Carretero Nieves. Ma'am, you're pretty far away from all of us. Would you be comfortable taking off your mask so I can better understand you? Okay. I also need you to speak in English. Ms. Nadal, does your client want me to get the Spanish interpreter back?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I have previously sworn you in, correct?
Yes.
Tell me your name.
I'm Janet Hernandez.
Okay. Ms. Hernandez, are you the victim in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I don't want to talk about this case or the facts or what happened in this case. My only issue is whether or not you should be allowed to have contact with him. So my first question is, are you afraid of Mr. Carretero?
No.
Do you want contact with him?
Yes.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Are there children in the home? If he were to become violent in the future, would you call 911?
Yes.
Any hesitancy about calling 911?
I will call 911 if that's necessary.
All right. Does the state care to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Then I'm going to amend my prior ruling as it relates to the conditions. The bond is unchanged. The bond is $1,000. There's to be no hostile contact with the alleged victim. I will no hostile contact. He's to not possess any weapons or firearms. And that is all.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Yes?
Can I bail him?
You can set his bail if you want, yes. You can go through a bailman or post a cash bond, your choice.
Okay, even if I'm the victim, it's okay.
There's no rule saying you can't bail him out. And if you go to a bail bondsman, you don't have to pay the full 1,000. They require a percentage, I think. I'm not quite sure how that works.
Okay, and another question, Your Honor. Should I go to any meeting or hearing about the no contact order, or that's gonna drop today?
Is there an injunction in place, a separate one?
I don't know. I don't have idea. I know they.
No. Are you talking about what I ordered?
I understand that they told me today that there's he has a hearing about the injunction March 15.
This is the one with the injunction state? I don't show there's an injunction. PTR, is there an injunction?
No, I'm not showing that either.
We don't know about an injunction.
I know I went upstairs and they told me something about in criminal traffic department. They told me something about a March 15 hearing.
That may be his next hearing in this case, but I have not ordered no contact. I've ordered no hostile contact. Let me explain. If he's yelling or screaming or pushing, if there's physical contact of any type, you call 911. If he's yelling or screaming or sends you a text message that is all in capital letters and sounds like it's a threat or yelling, you call 911. That will have him picked up for violation of my order right now. There will be more court hearings in this case, depending on what the state and what things happen in the future. All right?
If there's any way I can help to drop.
I can't get involved in that, ma'am. You're going to have to talk to the state, and he does have an attorney that was appointed to represent him.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, you had ordered bond with PTR.
No, I still want bond with PTR. I've just changed the no contact to no hostile contact. All right? Thank you. You may be seated. Is there anybody we didn't call?
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond Court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond Court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.
Well, I'm going to begin. The state attorney is aware of the time. I'm going to begin with the Spanish interpreter case. Decal, Rosario, Rodriguez can come forward. Decal, Rosario, Rodriguez. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, you're here on two matters. They both concern cases. Well, hang on just a minute.
Good afternoon. This is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter on the line, already sworn in.
All right, Ms. Romero, we are here for initial appearance, and the defendant is obviously at the jail. We're here in courtroom 5B. We'll go ahead and begin. The case numbers 22 CF 735, 22 CF 737, Decal Rosario Rodriguez. Sir, please tell me your date of birth.
Señor, por favor, díganos su nombre, su fecha de nacimiento.
17 de diciembre de 1990.
December 17, 1990.
Okay, sir. A judge already determined probable cause for all of the listed offenses in the warrant.
Bien, señor, ya un juez halló que habían causas que respaldaban todas las acusaciones en la orden de detención.
Ms. Osborne, do you have criminal history using the microphone?
Señora Osborne, ¿cuál es el historial penal? Usando el micrófono, por favor.
Your Honor, he has no prior history other than the charges he was already placed in jail on.
Su señoría, él no tenía historial penal aparte de las acusaciones que ya lo tenían en la cárcel.
All right. The bonds will remain as they've been set at $15,000 for sale of and delivery of fentanyl, $15,000 for distribution of fentanyl, $1,000 for delivery of drug paraphernalia, and $500 for unlawful use of a two-way communication device. That's for case 22735.
La acusación, las fianzas se mantienen igual. Por la venta de fentanyl, $15,000. Por distribución de fentanyl, $15,000. Por el otro cargo, $1,000. Y por la última acusación de uso de un aparato de comunicación de 2 vías, $500.
In case 22 CF 737, the same 4 listed offenses have been determined to enjoy probable cause, and the same bond amounts have been set for each count for an aggregate of $31,500 in each case.
La fianza previa eran en el caso 735, en el segundo caso la cantidad de las fianzas son básicamente lo mismo, se le agregan otros $31,500 en fianza.
The offenses are distinguished by the offense date, one occurring December the 1st of 2021, the other December 21st of 2021.
Las acusaciones son básicamente las mismas, pero con diferentes fechas. El primer caso es del 1 de diciembre del 21 y el segundo caso es del 21 de diciembre del 21.
The defendant has indicated that he'll be hiring private counsel.
El acusado ha indicado que está contratando un abogado particular.
Next court dates.
Las próximas fechas de corte se la van a proveer más adelante.
You'll receive them.
Usted la va a recibir.
All right, thank
Eso
you.
es todo. Gracias.
All right,
Thank you.
Mr. Do we have any other Spanish interpreter cases? Okay, he's come forward. Mr. Donnelly is now here with the State Attorney's Office. Mr. Ortiz Lopez, you've been arrested on an outstanding warrant for a violation of probation.
Señor Ortiz López, usted fue detenido por una orden de incumplimiento de la libertad de la probatoria.
The underlying charge was an aggravated assault. Judge Young has set bond at 0, will remain 0, and the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you.
El juez Young ha determinado que usted quede detenido sin fianza. El caso original era de amenaza de agresión con agravantes. Se le designa a la Oficina de Defensores Públicos y está detenido sin fianza.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Any further Spanish interpreter cases?
¿Alguna otra persona que necesite intérprete de español?
All right, thank you, Ms. Romero.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ida Pinto Rivera.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that she's bonded.
All right, she did have a bond out of for an Orange County matter. We'll move along then. We'll go next to Michael Omar Phillips. All right, good afternoon. There's 2 cases, Mr. Phillips. They both involve violations of probation. First of all, in case 20 CF 3596, the underlying charge was intimidation or harassment of a witness. You're accused of violating your probation. Judge Karsten set bond at 0. And then in case 20 CF 2982, a violation of probation, underlying charge grand theft. Judge Karsten has set bond at 0. One moment, please. Can you afford to hire your own attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Do you want me to appoint the public defender to assist you?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. Your next court dates, Madam Clerk?
March 24th, 8:30 a.m., both cases.
Thank you.
Can you say that again, Your Honor?
March 24th at 8:30 a.m.? Yes. All right, turning next to Jonas Pierre. Good afternoon. Appears that you intend to hire private counsel, Joseph Wicks.
Yes, sir.
All right, you've been arrested on an alleged violation of probation, case number 2010 CF 90. The underlying charge was burglary of a dwelling with a firearm and robbery, accused of violating probation. And Judge Morgan, just a moment. Your bond in this matter is $0. Your next court date, Madam Clerk? Just one moment.
March 21st at 8:45 a.m.
All right, thank you, sir. Diego Portalatin Rivera. Oh, okay, I'll take that one next after this. All right, Mr. Portalatin Rivera, good afternoon. One moment. I will appoint the public defender to represent you before determining the propriety of bond and/or conditions. Ms. Osborne, history on Portalatin?
Yes, he has history dating back to March of 2009 in Puerto Rico for dangerous drugs and weapon law, and also for marijuana possession and drug equipment possession.
All right, one moment. All right, sir, I'm setting your bond in the amount of $1,000. Should you make bond, it would be subject to pretrial release supervision. You're to have no contact whatsoever with Martha de Leon Sostre. Because you can have no contact, you obviously must maintain a separate residence. You cannot go within 500 feet of 161 Club Villas Lane in Kissimmee. I realize you may have personal belongings at that location, such as clothing, toiletries, other personal items. I would grant a one-time return with the assistance of the sheriff's office for that purpose if you have things of that nature. You're not to possess any weapons or firearms, and you're not to return to Miguel's Ultra Lounge, located at 219 Broadway in Kissimmee. Your next court date.
On demand.
Thank you. Did you get all of that? Okay, I've got a sticky if you need it. All right, we have a case involving a Moroccan interpreter. Before I call that person up, I want to make sure that we can actually succeed in connecting here. Let's give it a shot.
I'll connect you to the judge, okay? A moment. Thank you.
Now hit teleconference.
Teleconference, So it takes up a second.
That's okay, let's see. All right, this is Judge Epperson. Can I be heard?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is the Arabic interpreter.
All right, if you could please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully translate from English to Arabic and Arabic to English to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do. Swad Marakshi, official Arabic court interpreter.
All right, thank you. And we're going to go ahead. We have one case for you. I'm going to call that individual forward now. Abdurrahman Ben Zakhar.
Abdurrahman Ben Zakhar.
Mr. Ben Zakhar is now standing at the microphone. Just one moment. I'm going to make a provisional appointment of the public defender's office.
إذا سوف يتم تعيين محامي الدفاع العام يعني المحامي ديال الدولة غادي يعينوه مؤقتا.
I have reviewed the police report and I find probable cause for count 2 trespassing.
إذا أنا راجعت تقرير ديال الشرطة أنه هناك سبب كافي.
We're having trouble with transmission. I'm not sure that came through clearly, Madam Interpreter. You might have to go a little slower. If we can repeat that, I'll say it again. I find probable cause for trespassing. Your bond on that matter will be $500.
إذا لقيت سبب كافي في التهمة انتهاك حرمة الوصول إلى وغادي تكون $500 بالرسمي.
As to aggravated assault, I'm going to afford the state 24 hours to supplement the record. The bond will remain $1,500 for now, and this matter will be reset until tomorrow.
إذا بالنسبة للتهمة الأخرى اللي هي الاعتداء غادي تعطي الدولة العامة 4 يزيدوا المعلومات اللي خصهم يزيدوها على $5,000 وغادي
The existing affidavit states in conclusory fashion on 2 occasions that the defendant attempted to hit an individual with a bottle.
إذا بالنسبة للإقرار اللي مكتوب واللي مشروع بالقسم حاول
but does not state the facts supporting the conclusion.
ما كيقولش الحقائق يعني كيقول
Reset tomorrow unless the defendant posts bond.
إذا غادي نديرو عاوتاني الجلسة الغدا على حساب
Mr. Ben Zakhar, did you understand all of this?
سيد بن زاكور واش فهمتي هادشي؟
I don't listen to nothing. The war is tough. I cannot listen to what you say, that lady.
I'm understanding you in English. All right.
أنا ما أعرف هذه المحامية بتتكلم عن إيه.
I don't know what is this lawyer talking about.
Okay. That concludes our hearing for today. Thank you, Madam Interpreter. The transmission did sound to be intermittent.
Yeah, I thought it, Your Honor.
Okay. I know you're doing the best you can with the device you have. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Okay. Perhaps we would have engaged in more dialogue. But anyway, State, I don't know if you're following my reasoning, but the affidavit does say that he attempted to hit him with a bottle, which that would be an assault, but doesn't really describe the facts, Mr. Donnelly.
Understood. We'll reach out to the officer and see if we're able to gather anything.
Okay. All right. Turning next to Brandon Berry. Which means a Moroccan interpreter for tomorrow. All right. Mr. Berry, good afternoon. You were placed on probation for resisting an officer without violence. You're accused of violating probation by not doing all of the things you were supposed to do. There's about a list of 6 of them. Your bond is 0, will remain 0. Your next court date in front of Judge Sanders will be?
March 24th.
March 24th in the morning. Thank you. Omar Aguilar, 22 CF 753.
Defense will be requesting ROR in this case, or in the alternative conditional release. Mr. Aguilar was found incompetent in multiple cases. I can start with 2017.
I tell you, start with the most recent, if you would.
Yes, Your Honor. 21 CF 1371, 20 CF 411, 18 CF 3717, 19 MM 25. 18 CF 2830, 18 MM 2709, 18 MM 1756, and 17 CF 4356.
All right. I don't adjudicate competency issues at initial appearance, notwithstanding the presumptions that are accorded. However, I have a probable cause issue here. I don't know if the state has an argument, but according to the affidavit itself, an individual with equal ownership to the party that made the complaint told the officer that the defendant had consent to be in the dwelling. Now, there was some indications of forcible entry. However, I don't think that overcomes the consent with respect to a burglary charge. And so unless I can be persuaded otherwise, I'm going to release him on his own recognizance based upon no probable cause. But I will await to see if there's any argument there. Looks like the defendant's father is also has authority for the property, and he's told the officers that he gave the defendant permission to enter, whereas his, I believe, brother, who made the complaint, called the cops.
Judge, if you would give me one moment, I just want to see if there's any legal impediment, any no contact orders in the previous cases.
Okay. I guess it would need to be a no return because I don't think his brother was there at the time. But
Yes, Judge, and I don't see any cases that would qualify as, that would include a no contact or no return order.
all right, so Mr. Aguilar will be released on this case today. Now, Mr. Aguilar needs to make sure he has contact information that's current, because this does not mean the state, obviously doesn't mean the state cannot prosecute the matter. It just means as of today, I don't have probable cause, all right? Thank you.
Your Honor, will you be taking any action on the cases that he's
Not in the absence of probable cause, no, but thank you. All right, Susan Edison. Susan Edison.
Your Honor, it is my understanding that Ms. Edison wants a private attorney,
Okay, yes, that's what the paperwork indicates.
and she is hard of hearing, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll try our best here. Maestro. Ms. Edison, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, I can.
Okay, one moment. I know, Ms. Osborne from PTR, you were not apparently able to contact the alleged victim. Is that still the case?
That is the case, Your Honor.
History?
The defendant has one prior back in February of 2019 for DUI, which she was found guilty of and sentenced to 12 months of probation.
Okay, Ms. Edison, I do find probable cause for battery. I'm setting your bond at $250. If you make bond, you'll be subject to pretrial release supervision until further order of the court to have no hostile contact with the alleged victim in the case. Now, I did not see his proper name included in the report. Would that be Kenneth Edison?
I believe so.
Is your husband Kenneth Edison?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you're to have no hostile contact with Kenneth Edison. No hostile contact obviously prohibits any acts of violence, but also any threats of violence. You must not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages or go to any bars until further order of the court. All right, your next court date, Madam Clerk?
On demand.
You'll receive your next court date, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right, turning next to Jared Jastal. Good afternoon. One moment. Can you afford to hire your own lawyer?
No, sir.
Are you interested in having an attorney to help?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. I've reviewed the police report. I do find probable cause for the offense of battery. Ms. Osborne from PTR History.
Yes, he has history dating back to 2009 with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, battery, disorderly conduct, resisting without violence, battery on LEO firefighter. He also has ag battery, bodily harm. His last charge was back in January of 2019 for violation of probation in Hernando County, which he was sentenced guilty of, and he had 1 month and 14 days in jail.
Mr. Jastal, having found probable cause, your bond will be $1,500, subject to pretrial release supervision. Until further order of the court, you're to have no contact with Ms. LaToya Willis. You're not to return to 2001 Cascades Boulevard, apartment 204. You're to possess no weapons or firearms. You also must not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. And your next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thank you. Casey Jonas.
At this time, we'll be waiving Casey Jonas's appearance, Your Honor.
All right, his bond will remain $500, the court having found probable cause for trespassing, and the defendant is not to return to the Mathnasium. Doesn't sound like a place you'd want to be anyway, the Mathnasium. At 2358 East Erlo Bronson Highway. The court also finds an on-view violation of probation. This is an intentional offense, as the defendant had been warned to leave and refused. And so, having found probable cause for a new law violation, I find an on-view violation of probation in 21 MM 3260. Be held on a zero bond on that case, and probation will have 72 hours to verify and file an affidavit if they deem appropriate. And the public defender's office appointed on both cases provisionally. Next court date,
On demand.
Adrian Walker. Mathnasium. All right, Mr. Walker, good afternoon. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. The court finds probable cause for possession of heroin and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bonds will remain as they've been set, $1,000 on count one, $250 on count two, and, well, let me ask Ms. Osborne, any history?
Yes, he has history in New Jersey dating back to April of 2006 for burglary, also possession of marijuana, manufacture, distribute marijuana on school property, and the same charges in May of 2008.
Okay, I see he did qualify for direct PTR pursuant to the administrative order, but in the court's discretion, I'm going to maintain the bonds as I've set. Should you make bond, Mr. Walker, it'll be subject to pretrial release supervision. You must not possess or consume any illegal substances or any controlled substances without a prescription. And your next court date,
On demand.
you'll receive. Thank you. Billy Jason.
We would be waiving his initial appearance as well, Your Honor.
All right. I believe he's also known as Wilfred is the last name. Let's see. Because we had him yesterday under a different name. Wilfred Sampson, yes. So Wilfred Sampson, also known as Billy Jason. The court finds probable cause for the battery on a law enforcement officer. Bond will remain $2,500. I believe the state filed a motion for pretrial detention in the companion case we held yesterday. And that's to be set in front of Judge Karsten. All right. Megan Valley or Valier? All right, good afternoon. How do you pronounce your last name? Valley. All right. We have two matters today. First of all, in 21 MM 1189, accused of violating probation. You were placed on probation by Judge Sanders for battery domestic violence, and you're accused of violating probation in several respects. Judge Sanders set your bond at zero, will remain zero. Again, that's 21 MM 1189. Now, there's a new case, or another case, I should say, 21 MM 3292. In that case, just a moment, a court already determined probable cause for battery, domestic. I'm going to set your bond in that case in the amount of $500. Should you make bonds, you must have no contact with Patricia Valley. I understand that's your mother, but you're to have no contact. You're not to return to 1080 Jack Calhoun Drive, Lot 84, not to possess any weapons or firearms, not to possess or consume any controlled substances, no drugs unless prescribed, and you'd be subject to random drug testing. That's part of, if she qualifies for PTR, if you qualify for pretrial release. The Public Defender's Office, just a second. Can you afford to hire your own lawyer? Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to assist? I'll appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in both matters. And your next court dates?
On the VOP, March 17th at 8:05. On the new case is on demand.
You'll receive it on the new case.
Judge, is this bond with PTR?
Yes, on the,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Doesn't
She
qualify.
does not qualify for pretrial release. Also, the day of her initial appearance, she was in a hospital. Her mother did show up. She did advise me that she did want contact with the defendant.
okay, all right, just one moment. So the defendant will not be on pretrial release, but all the conditions of release will remain as they were stated.
Including the
And-
random draw?
Yes, but just one moment. Where'd my note go? Just a second. I'll change it to no hostile contact with Patricia Valley. No hostile contact. Now, no hostile contact. What does that mean?
No hostile contact, no fighting, no arguing, no.
I was going to answer my own question, but you're doing a really good job there.
I apologize.
All right, no, keep going. No fighting, no arguing.
It's nothing in that general matter at all.
Very well. That's a pretty good job. So no violence, no threats of violence, no acts of intimidation. And to avoid that, avoiding arguments would be good too. Anything else on that, Mr. Donnelly?
Judge, you had previously ordered no return to the scene. Is that going to remain in force?
Yes, it'll remain in force. Just because there's no hostile contact doesn't change that until further order of the court. Now, when you talk to your lawyer, things change. Maybe she doesn't live there anymore. I don't know, but that'll await further order of the court. All right, thank you. All right. I believe we might have covered the whole docket, Mr. Lopez?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, great. Thank you, officer, and y'all have a good day. We're in recess.
Bond court is a free service, but it takes several hours of my time every day. Less than 10% of Bond court viewers hit the like button, and less than 1% leave a comment. If you want Bond court to continue to be available on YouTube for free, then please hit the like button and leave a comment on all of my videos.